This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where tonight my friends and I will be playing the Mothership role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is called the Methuselah Archive. It was written by Morgan Llewellyn, who is also our game warden, and this is episode 5. Our recap will be given by Carrie Marion as her character, Dr. Callista Moon. So, without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Carrie?
I'm writing this down so I don't forget. What else has been forgotten? Am I still me? I think all of us are questioning ourselves right now. Us. Highly trained academics, and we were easily duped by Gaia. Was our mission really to find out what happened on Hypnos 3, or is there a more sinister experiment being conducted? Every time we enter Methuselah, it seems our own worst personal traumas are exposed over and over again. What is the purpose of this? Lee May says it's Methuselah's way of communicating with us. Perhaps Methuselah is also suffering, and the only way for it to make us understand is by making us relive and experience each other's painful pasts. I feel like I can't trust Lee May or Gemini 7. Transparency is not something they are willing or able to give. How is their secrecy supposed to help us uncover the events that transpired on Hypnos 3? It's starting to feel like this mission is less about Hypnos 3 and more about mind experimentation. Before it was just Dr. Mosier, who was imprinted with the memories of the cybernetic specialist Ava, who was first assigned to the new discovery of the alien technology on Hypnos 3. Dr. Mosier became Ava. It was as if Jake Mosier had winked out of existence. And since our last visit with Methuselah, all of us have now seemed to have memories replaced or swapped. Past entries in my journal revealed pages and pages of emotional turmoil over a relationship I had with a man named Zan and his betrayal with my best friend Lanny. I have no memory of this, only my love for Ophelia and the pain of her walking out of my life. Dr. Tangen seemed to have been bestowed the traumatic memories of Dr. von Neumann's childhood while maintaining that his twin sister Rhea was still alive, even though in every session we've had together, I know that he carries a deep guilt for her untimely death. Even our faithful android Tav has somehow been tampered with, given memories of the death of Tangen's sister Rhea. I don't know what all of this means, or even how to start piecing together how to fix it. Lee May assures us we'll return to normal after some time, but I have a sinking suspicion that none of us will ever be normal again. Heartache, death, loss, and destruction seem to be the main themes of our interfacing with this cybergenetic monstrosity. But is Methuselah a monster, toying with our tiny little minds, shuffling our memories betwixt each other like a deck of playing cards? Or is it just a creature expressing its pain the only way it knows how? As I stood outside the archive with Dr. Tangen, von Neumann, Tav, and Gemini 7, I pondered this alien landscape and wondered if we too would become like the blades of swaying grass that Methuselah feeds from, just another memory lost in a sea of dark dreams.
Thank you very much. So, as we get going here, I'm recovering from a cold, so my voice is going to be a little bit shaky. I apologize for that. Where we left off, Dr. Kusanagi and Dr. Moser were back on your ship, the Prophet, The other four of you are currently traveling with Gemini 7 to see one of the planet's oceans, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll start with Dr. Kusanagi and Dr. Moisier on the Prophet. What is it that the two of you, now that you've gone up there to make records to stash away for yourselves, I know you were saying you're writing down basically everything you can think of. Are the two of you having any conversations while you're up there? Doing anything else?
Oh. Maybe I'll try and talk to Dr. Moiser, see if how much he just Ava has supplanted his mind or not. I don't have
Just
anything else. Go ahead.
I'm just quiet and just trying to figure out if there's anything in my logs that doesn't seem to ring a bell. If what I'm reading in my ship's logs prior to landing seems familiar to me or not, and I'm just really focused on that.
Yeah, as you're going through your logs, the thing that seems to be missing, when you were on Regulus 4, there's this encounter that sticks out in your mind, this central crucial thing that happened, and that was this encounter with this young woman, this Ava. You remember it so vividly, and it's haunted you ever since, but you'd make no mention of it in any of your records.
That's very bizarre. Dr. Kusanagi, this is just doesn't make sense. It's almost as if the logs here have been tampered. I'm not sure how they would have tampered the logs, but there are whole tracks of my experiences prior to this visit that are no longer listed in any of my journal entries.
Or your mind's been tampered with. Ava is not from Regulus 4. She is one of the people from Hypno 7.
Well, there's a lot of people with the name Ava, and I'm sure it's
That's
not
fair.
exclusive just to Hypnos.
That's totally fair. Big coincidence, but yeah.
I suppose. I don't know. There's just something doesn't seem right here. Yeah, maybe you're right. That is even more disturbing if you are right.
Still, I would suggest just keeping a good record now and make sure it's safe and cannot be tampered with by anybody else.
Yeah, maybe.
Just as a failsafe.
Yeah, something that's not stored electronically, but written down in a notebook, the good old-fashioned way. Keep that locked up. I just don't know if my own memories are tampered with. What am I writing down? Am I writing down? And this is difficult. It's difficult to proceed with the comfort of knowing that we're not drifting away. I think I'm fine though right now. I don't feel distressed or segmented, but some of you mentioned I did seem like that earlier. Very concerning. Maybe we should return to the surface sometime soon. Or are you wrapping up what you were doing?
I'm wrapping up, but I think we need to wait for the ship to pass over the landing zone again.
So you're still in the orbital window.
Okay.
If you stay here for too long, you'll have to wait a whole other day before you can go back down.
Okay, I think we'll want to leave before then.
Okay.
I thought we already passed that.
No. So the two of you get back into the landing shuttle and start heading back down to the surface. The other four of you, you're with Gemini 7 and you're traveling with this via the skimmer kind of going low to the ground, past all these. There are hills. There are vast. It was basically a vast grassland, and this thick alien foliage, these strands of alien grasses, and some of it looks like seaweed or moss, just covering the landscape. The rain is falling heavily on the windows of the skimmers. You see the water droplets hitting the glass and turning into little rivulets as it's being pressed away by your acceleration, your momentum. Um, Gemini 7 is dead silent. You can hear the rush of the engines, that the slight pitter patter of the rain as it hits the glass, and you're just watching this endless seas of grasses go by outside.
If at any time you notice that a memory seems to be intruding, perhaps a memory of being someplace familiar, you should report it. I realize this is an unconventional way to solve a mystery, but perhaps it's an interesting and effective way. We just don't know yet.
A memory as in being reminded of something from our environment now, or just in general?
Yes, as if we've been here before.
Yeah,
This doesn't seem familiar.
I don't think I remember being on, a planet that's like 80% brain and the other 20% is things that serve the brain. So,
Who is with us exactly again?
It is Artav, Callista, Tangen, Von Neumann, and Gemini 7.
Gemini 7. Is
He's
there
taking us to
is
see the ocean.
is Gemini 7 occupied with something else while we're in there at any point? Or
Gemini 7 is piloting the skimmer. It's not very big, the skimmer.
Okay.
So you're all kind of in this back seating area. Most of the craft, at least for where the passengers are, is glass. So you can see, you have a pretty good view of the landscape around you, the storm
Yeah.
clouds above you. Gemini 7 is up front, piloting.
I'm gonna,
It is
I guess, turn to the person next to me, whoever that happens to be. I'll
it's
pick
me.
somebody. Okay, it's Tangent, Dr. Tangent. I'll say, Dr. Tangent, I am becoming concerned that there is a possibility that the previous occupants of this outpost, that their fate may have been wrapped up in the use of the Methuselah Archive, and perhaps they are related in some way that could be negative. And we might be repeating a cycle that has happened before. Have you considered this?
Well, I haven't thought too much about that. I've been, with just bombardments of trauma. But it's not too far of a, I think maybe that's, it makes sense, it seems like, it seems like Methuselah is just as, I feel like we're part of a sick game, and maybe everyone else who's come through here has been part of the same sick game.
I think we have to prioritize finding more evidence of what happened to the previous colonists.
Well, I agree. How do you think we can do that? it
There
seems like
must be physical evidence. There was nearly 1 million inhabitants. What happened to them? Where is the biomass? Where did it go? It must be somewhere. Maybe there is a way we can track it.
well, I don't,
I will talk to
I
Dr.
don't know. I
Moiser.
don't.
He will know.
I don't know that anybody lived here other than Lee May, and has been here for like 200 years. And then the other team that came through. I don't know. I mean, it seems like every time anyone's trying to figure out about the prior team that they haven't got it anywhere.
Yeah, that is suspicious. Do you not think so?
I do, but also I'm not. I do, but I don't because I feel like the prior team was kind of a, I don't know, lead team. They had been to Hypnos, and so they were just getting their memories farmed, kind of ingested, I think. That's kind of what Lee May said. It ingested their memories, so I don't know. Maybe once all their memories were ingested, they left. Or maybe they
Perhaps.
were shifted into the rooms. I mean, Dr. Moon's entire room was reduced, you know, in half probably. They took a mirror out of mine. Maybe these people just got shifted into the walls.
Perhaps this is so. I think we should enlist the help of Dr. Moiser.
Tangent is very twitchy at the moment.
If I may
I will
interject,
talk. I
gentlemen.
will talk to him when we have a moment.
If I may interject, gentlemen, I can't. My hearing is quite sensitive. I couldn't help but overhear what you were saying. It's possible that the previous group that was here was not able to establish an effective interface with Methuselah. What happened to them, we can only speculate on. However, I don't think that it's likely that Methuselah would follow the same pattern again. People who are insane repeat the same patterns with the same results and keep trying. Methuselah would have worked on perfecting the interface. I still think that we're having difficulty correctly interfacing with it. But the point is once we've done that, we should be able to solve this mystery. The bodies were all missing from Hypnos 3, and what we are seeing is a recreation, a virtual recreation.
Well, a human brain can break apart and go insane. So, I mean, I would assume if this is a brain, it has the same exact capabilities. Maybe we are just at the mercy of an insane planet-sized brain.
Well, we have been told that we must continue using the archive to adapt. But on the other hand, we have continued to devolve, and more problems have shown themselves, more confusion. And so I do not think that this is healthy.
I've been thinking about the problem. Dr. Tangen, you introduced a code word canister into our minds so that we could try to bring one another out of errant memories. But I'm wondering if we couldn't do something more sophisticated. I don't know if Methuselah could do it or if it's even possible, but if Methuselah could color the various visions in a way that would make them obviously not our own, like through a colored filter. It's just an idea. But if, you found that you had memories where everything was yellow or green, then you would know that it was a false memory. You'd be able to.
I think that's working off the assumption that Methuselah is going to play nice, which for me has not been,
I think that you're introducing a level of fear into this that might in and of itself become self-destructive.
Oh, Well, I mean, I've been bombarded with images and memories of my dead sister and myself trying to kill myself unsuccessfully. So yeah, fear's kind of high up there right now.
Well,
Well,
and another problem I see is if we are somehow merging memories or swapping memories, what is to say that we wouldn't lose the abilities that we already have to be on this project, why we were chosen to be on this project, our skills, then what would be the point?
What I would like to know is where is the evidence that continued use of the archive will improve our ability to use it and to get information from it. There is no
we
one
might.
who has used it successfully who is alive to tell the tale. So what? So where is the evidence that this is the case?
When one functions on the cutting edge of technology, there is no previous knowledge to draw from. We may be the first to accomplish this.
Yeah, we
Oh,
are not
I
the
think
inventors of
not.
the archive.
We are forgetting about Lee May. I think Lee May knows the ins and outs of Methuselah, and for some reason is keeping it to herself for whatever purpose that may serve for Gaia.
Dr. May has told us repeatedly that we'll get used to it. She would be the expert who would know. She has lived here for 200 years.
Dr.
She
Monk,
keeps
do you
assuring
believe
us that
that Li Mei is withholding information from us?
why would she?
Well, that is the big question. Why all the secrecy? Wouldn't if the project is to find out what happened on Hypnos 3, why wouldn't Gaia have all of the tools at our disposal to use? If Lee May knows how to use Methuselah or communicate with Methuselah in a more precise manner, then why are they withholding this information from us to make it easier for us to discover what happened on Hypnos 3?
Exactly. If they have memories, why why do we need to be here to parse those memories?
Dr. Moisa, I was wondering whether
Dr.
it might
Moises
be. Oh, Dr.
might be
Moisa's
able to
not with us right
communicate in
now.
this way.
Yeah, okay. I'll save that conversation.
Um, another thing crosses my circuitry. Why is Methuselah given the task of solving this mystery? Methuselah is an archive. She's not a super computer. Hers is memory storage.
I mean,
But
right.
perhaps
So why are there incomplete memories that we have to figure out? It seems like of the 12 bodies that they recovered and processed, I feel like those are the 12 people that know exactly what happened.
and she
Yeah,
has the memories of those, or at least most of the memories, partial memories. Obviously, they were dead for some time
I
before they
think we
were
must
recovered.
somehow focus on individual memories among those 12 next time we use the archive, if we use it.
Well, so far, Dr. Moisher has been presenting the personality of Ava, and quite strongly, I'm wondering if this Ava is the linchpin, the most important person in this narrative. She seems to have been in position to know a lot of things. And there was, if I'm not mistaken, I was told there was a flash, and as if something happened. We'll have to confirm that with Dr. Moisher. Could there have been an explosion, something that damaged Hypnos 3, an accident? What else do we know? There were aliens found in 4 niches that didn't seem to be mobile. Could they have been components of some larger thing?
Well, they were quite disgusting. I can tell you that. I remember
Disgusting,
touching
but
it. It's viscous.
also quite interesting. No limbs, organs, nothing seemed to indicate that they were the civilization itself that had been here and had inscribed the rocks.
Well, and we don't know what stage of if it was even fully adult or if it was a larva.
That's true.
I'm not sure if we were looking at a fully formed creature yet.
Did you find anything to indicate organs undeveloped inside the mass? Like a butterfly?
All I can remember is putting a scalpel to it and peeling away its outer layer, and it seemed not wholly organic. There did seem to be components of metal or something within it, but I couldn't say.
Well, it remains a mystery. Genesis 7. When are we going to arrive at the ocean?
No, we should be arriving there momentarily, our tab. And the skimmer crests this hill, and you see kind of stretching off on either side of you this kind of pebbly, rocky shore. The water is quite tumultuous, high waves. And Gemini 7 says, I could take us up to the cliff top. You'll have a wonderful view of the ocean, unless you want to get closer.
Well, that looks quite picturesque up there.
I guess
Okay.
to the hilltop we go.
So the skimmer lands down at the top of this grassy hill. You all re-put on your environmental helmets. And you step out, and yeah, the wind is fierce here, whipping up off the sea. Dark clouds swarm the horizon, this dark alien ocean before you. The waves crashing up against the cliff face. Gemini 7 says, welcome to the ocean.
Is there life in it?
Noban has taken an extensive inventory of the sea. There could be.
Does it
It's quite
function as
scenic.
part of Methuselah's system?
Cooling, yeah. Any resource of the planet that could be bent towards helping Methuselah has been done. So pretty much all the native flora and fauna were outcompeted by Methuselah's biosystems a long time ago.
So you don't know that there's not something in there just kind of picking away at Methuselah.
We've seen no evidence of such things.
From this hill, can we see any other cliffs? Can we see any caverns or cave entrances?
Not from here. You're kind of you're at the top. So even looking down, I mean, the cliff face is all scarred by all sorts of oceanic activity and erosion over time. So in all likelihood, there are a number of caves and things along the coast.
But there's a beach area that we would be able to walk on.
Yeah, so you can see from here down the way the kind of the cliff starts to lower down flatter, and then it's not like a sand beach, it's like a pebble beach. Like it's all smaller rocks, but closer to the water line.
Can I tell by looking at them what they're composed of? Are the minerals pretty? Interesting. Crystalline.
You look at it's all like it's mostly sedimentary rock. Um, or I mean, there's all sorts of kind of
Banded and
banded, and there are some mineral deposits and things.
uh, polished smooth by the waves.
Yeah,
Water composition, salty, fresh,
very salty, very salty.
salt.
Among other compounds, like it's not the same makeup as Earth's oceans. The water is
Sure.
pretty toxic, actually.
Some of you humans might find this quite beautiful here.
Yeah,
These
it is quite
rocks.
scenic.
The ocean, however, is toxic.
Guess I won't go for a swim then.
Yes, that would be ill-advisable.
There's a large amount of arsenic and cyanide in the ocean, fairly common salts.
Should we take a walk along the beach to see what we can see?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think this is a good
Is it-
idea.
Is it still raining where we are?
Yes. Yeah, this
Because
is a
the
very
rains-
major storm system.
Is the rain toxic?
It shouldn't be.
The rain
Rain
itself
doesn't.
is not.
Okay.
There's no acid rain or anything. There's nothing in the atmosphere like when it evaporates out of the ocean.
It's like
Fresh.
it's just a little water.
I would think
Tangent.
that biologists would have a lot of a good time here looking at all of the different plants and things. Sorry, Dr. Tangent.
I think kind of step up next to Dr. Moon and be like kind of low, like I guess, we're in environmental suits, so I'm just communicate directly to her. It's like, what are we doing here?
I don't know myself, but I feel like it's related to what we were experiencing inside Methuselah.
We
This
just field tripping?
It has to be more than that. I mean, what would be the point of coming out here? There has to be some connection to what we're experiencing inside Methuselah to this outer environment.
Okay, I'm just, just taking in the views, I guess, right? Is that
For now, maybe something will jog our memories.
okay? Taking the views. Tangent turns and stares at the ocean.
For some
how do you-
odd reason, I'm going to pick up one of the rocks and throw it in. See if I can skip it over the surface.
Yeah, you can do that quite easily. The rock feels heavy in your hand. It skips along the onrushing waves. Say, Dr. Tangent, how do you feel staring out into the sea?
I think staring out at the sea, once he kind of gives in to what this is, it's it's calming. It's not really a environment he's had a lot of, like experience with. He hasn't really grown up like on an ocean or like, seaside or anything. So as he allows himself a moment to just take a moment to just experience it for what it is, with the storm and everything going on, it's oddly comforting because it's so unlike anything that's kind of anchored to him, his childhood, the planet where him and Rio were doing their research. It's so different from all of that. So like as he kind of gets, I guess, gets over himself a little bit and allows himself to be in the moment, it's a little comforting. He actually
Okay.
sees Tav throw the rock and he kind of reaches down, grabs one, and attempts skipping a rock, something he's never done in his life. So it
Mhm.
probably doesn't go very well. But
Yeah, goes very poorly. But
yeah.
Dr. Tangent and Artap, you can both lose 1d8 stress.
Okay. I will teach you, Dr. Tension.
Dig out a D8 real quick.
Well, a d8's a very common die, Dr. Tangent. You don't use it all the time. Dr. Moon and Dr. Von Neumann, what are you
Wow.
two up?
I think it is time for a regulation 1 hour of vigorous walking.
I agree, Dr. Von Neumann. I would like to maybe find a space where we can get out of this rain. Maybe an alcove down somewhere on the beach.
Yeah, if you would care to join me, we could take
Tangent
a
is
walk and take a look.
Tangent is learning from Artab how to skip rocks.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Dr. Von Neumann and Dr. Moon, you start to jog along kind of this rocky shore, and you get very far away from the others. You get out of sight of the others, even. Gemini 7 hasn't followed you, the others haven't followed you. You're going for quite a while, and eventually you come across another kind of set of these high cliffs. And getting towards them, you can see that the water has eaten away into the sides, and there are a number of little alcoves, caves, and things carved into the rock.
Look, we have found some.
Oh, wonderful. I'm starting to get out of breath. I'm not used to your vigorous exercising, Dr. Von Neumann.
Yeah, 1 hour a day. Yeah, it's good enough for me.
Jogs over.
So,
Yeah,
shall
so
we explore a cave?
Do you have a light? I'm not sure that I have a flashlight on me.
your environmental suits have lighting in them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we can light the way like this. Deet, 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 deet.
Yeah, so your lights come on and you're looking up into this kind of dimly lit cavern. The water here isn't as intense. It's still sloshing with the storm surge. But from where it's kind of coming in through the rocks, this little cave seems to be somewhat protected from the elements.
I wonder if you have any thoughts on our host, Lillian May.
I have several. I just know, I know that we have had information kept from us. There's some other purpose for us being here other than Hypnos 3. I just don't know what it is. It disturbs me greatly.
I am becoming increasingly concerned about this as well.
And with our memories being swapped, misplaced, whatever, I'm afraid to go back into Methuselah. I don't want to lose any more of myself.
Yeah, and yet, the job requires it.
And because of our contracts, we have no way to get out of it.
Yeah.
Was there anything while you were interfacing that sheds any light on this situation? Does this seem familiar to you, this environment, these elements of how Methuselah lives, breathes, eats.
No, it does not seem logical to me. At times, I understand some of it, but it is far more complex, I think, than any one of us could understand. But I am becoming concerned, increasingly concerned, yeah. And I believe that Li Mei may have the key to helping us to understand what the motivation of the archive might be, if it is not simply to provide us with information.
What if it isn't providing us with information, but we're providing it with information?
Yeah, this is possible. And to what end, I do not know.
Exactly.
I was wondering if you could talk to Li Mei and see if you could work your magic, I suppose.
Well, I had a bit of a rapport going on with her, but I felt shut down a bit, just as when Jim 7 kind of shut us down, giving us information, saying, you don't need to know. You can't know. That information's not available. Be like, it is available. You just won't give it to us.
We must not give up.
I really wish that Dr. Kusanagi was with us. I feel that she would have some insight into all of this biological matter that has to do with what we saw inside Methuselah.
Yeah, well, it has been about 30 minutes. Perhaps we should head back and rejoin the others.
Yes, they may wonder where we have gone to.
Yeah, we do not wish them to worry.
No.
Okay, so it takes you a little bit of time. So Dr. Tangent and Arctab, eventually you see Dr. Von Neumann and Dr. Munn return.
Ah, they're coming back. We have done well skipping rocks.
Yeah, I skipped a rock 6 times.
We had a refreshing walk up the beach, found ourselves into a cave. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
No strange writing or anything on the cave.
No, nothing that we saw.
Perhaps we have accomplished what we needed to here. We've relaxed a bit.
I feel it was a bit enlightening, but as I told Dr. Von Neumann down on the beach, I wish Dr. Kusanagi had been here. I think she would have been able to glean more information from this experience than what we could have.
Well, we're going to be here for some time. We can come back.
Gemini 7 says, I have word that your 2 colleagues have just returned from orbit.
We should go back and join them for lunch.
Yeah, let us go rejoin them, and we shall redouble our efforts with fresh minds.
Okay, so as the 4 of you start heading back on the skimmer, Dr. Kusanagi and Dr. Moiser, when you return from your shuttle, you are greeted by Gemini 7 and Li Mei as you re-enter the facility.
Oh,
How was your trip? Li Mei asks.
Well, wonderful. It's always nice to return home, so to say.
Yes, I know what you mean. Home can be such a funny thing, you know?
it sure can. Home is where the heart is.
The old platitudes.
What
Nice
what
to see
brings
that they
you
survive.
what brings you up here, Li Mei?
I just want to make sure that you're all doing all right. I mean, yesterday's archival session was quite draining on you all, and I just hope that you're doing okay. Feeling refreshed, I hope.
Go ahead.
A little refreshed. Still a little uncertain, but
Well, I mean, you
I,
still have some of the day is still left. I mean, we have our recreational and relaxation facilities here. I can't imagine that traveling to and from low orbit is the most restful of activities, but you never know.
it was good to jog the mind in a different way.
Hmm. Yes, well, I've gotten word from Gemini 7 that your colleagues are on their way back from the ocean.
All
They
right.
should be here shortly.
Wonderful. Well, let's freshen up and we'll go meet them. Maybe for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's meet them for lunch. After that, I'll recuperate in the relaxation facilities.
Okay, so after a little bit, the other four return. All the six of you are gathered back together um, in the cafeteria section. You all have lunch.
So how was the service?
Interesting. Seems like everything kind of serves Methuselah. I skipped rocks in the ocean, which is very toxic.
It was quite pleasant, a bit damp.
But the ocean is toxic, not skipping rocks.
That yes. Unless you fell in, then I guess the skipping rocks would also be toxic. Anyways, toxic ocean. Grass that just is serves as feeding energy to Methuselah.
Hmm.
Yes, it's quite a vast land, barren. The beach is covered in smooth pebbles and the weather's quite dreary, so it wasn't much to see. It would have been interesting for you, Dr. Kusanagi, though, because I don't know if there were any remains. We didn't really check the beach very well, but there may have been remains of exoskeletons of creatures from the ocean on the beach.
Uh, as far as I understood it, there are no alien life forms on this planet, except for maybe Methuselah. I don't know how you would classify it, but uh,
Well, Jim
I
said that the
mean,
ocean hadn't really been explored, so they're not really sure what's in it.
well, that sounds like an interesting thing. Maybe for our next day off, I'll go and have a look.
Did you happen to find anything, Dr. Mosher, Dr. Kusanagi, while you were on the Prophet?
Not really. Just, keeping that journal that you told us about, making sure my mind is clear and
Yeah, just checking the journal I had left on board. I wanted to make sure that I was recalling what I wrote before coming here. It was strange. It seemed like there were a few things missing, but I'm just hoping they'll slowly, gradually come back to me. But the lion's share of the journal made sense, so that is a good thing.
What kind of things were missing?
Just some people I've interacted with. I'm Dr. Kusanagi mentioned maybe it might be some blurred recollections from Ava, but I'm willing to just still try to muddle my way through this. Most of it seemed very recognizable, so I'm not too worried. I'm hoping the remainder of today off will help me through.
Well, I know that we really don't have much of a choice, but I have misgivings about going back into those pods.
Is Lee May with us?
No.
Is a Gemini 7 with us?
There's Gemini 7 in here, waiting casually to see if you need anything. He's like
How does
he's nearby, but he's not like right at your table. If that makes sense.
how does the rest of you feel about using the archive again?
So
Comprehensive.
yeah, it's not something I look forward to, but also I think it's how we get out of here as well. We have to, I mean, we came for a job. I guess we have to finish that job. So it's it's something kind of something we have to do.
Well,
Whether
something just occurred to me, though, about this whole situation. I know we were told in order to find out what happened on Hypnos 3, we had to use Methuselah in order to see, watch, experience what happened there. But wouldn't there have been records? Wouldn't there have been some sort of transmissions that we could look at physically rather than have to get into Methuselah and experience it firsthand?
I would assume so if we, were allowed to look at it. We've been, I don't think we've been allowed to really do a lot of research outside of Methuselah yet.
I'm thinking that if such a thing were possible, it would have already been offered. It's are we not all, well, not all of us, but are we not all scientists? This is the cutting edge. This is discovery.
I
We should
mean,
be excited.
yeah, I have no idea what purpose I serve here as a linguist. Not a lot of that, plays into what happened to kill millions of people.
Except Dr. Tangent, we've already discovered a number of places that had odd writing.
Right, but is that just my memories bleeding into what people are saying?
I don't know. I seem to encounter strange language where the creatures were found in the memories that were given to me.
And Dr. Tangent, if you consider that the prevalence of the memories associated with your own life is quite high, that might indicate that you have had some success interfacing with Methuselah, maybe even more than the rest of us.
I mean, maybe, but it seems as if, Dr. Mosier has had a lot of success kind of at times becoming a completely different person.
Yeah, Dr.
Perhaps,
Moisa has also had success. This is true.
I've not quite reached that level.
perhaps we're not using it to our advantage. Gemini 7.
Yes, Artav.
While inside of Methuselah, we encountered a number of places that had alien writing. Is it possible to produce a printout so that we could examine the text more thoroughly in our leisure, rather than being in Methuselah while we're doing it?
I'm sorry. I was typing something. Can you run that by me one more time? I'm so sorry.
I'm asking, is it possible to get a printout of the things that
Hmm.
we saw as far as writing goes, so that Dr. Tanshin could examine it more thoroughly
Yes, I'm sure we
with
could connect you to a system and print out your images from your memory.
Well, I mean okay, let's start there. Are those the writings from me or are they from Hypnos 3?
Well, I believe that you're accessing Ava's memories, were you not?
yes, Ava's memories, her memories of
I would not be so self-assured, Dr. Tangent, that you are as useless as you claim to be in this matter.
That's a wild statement, Tangent. It takes a lot of processing.
There was no data found on Hypnos 3, right? When you came. Just a few bodies and millions of people gone up in smoke.
There was extensive damage done to its infrastructure. Most people are content with digital records, all of which were destroyed.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was getting at.
People don't put things on paper very much anymore.
Well, if you're
So-
saying it's possible to print out memories that we had while interfacing with Methuselah, could we then print out images of the creature that I saw for Dr. Kusanagi or Dr. Mosier to look at?
All that needs to be done through RTAV. I mean, that's just why RTAV is here. RTAV is the one who can collect such data. I mean,
Excellent.
it'd be quite the procedure to print out the images that are in your mind, Dr. Munn. But I'm sure that could be arranged if you would so like.
Perhaps that makes my function better. Whatever I see, I can print out so that you can later examine it. But I think that you're necessary for the images to come forth, to the impetus for the memories. I'm not quite adequate to that task. I'm just a machine.
Well, I'm willing to do whatever needs to be done in order to be helpful. I mean, if getting into my head to look at images that I saw is at all helpful, yes.
I have been wondering whether it might be a good idea for us to ask Li Mei to join us the next time.
That might be interesting to see how she handles everything that we've experienced so far.
Yeah.
Yes, and if she's willing to
if
do it.
some of her experiences might bleed into our experience and we might learn something new.
Dr. Otto, you had a question earlier as we were traveling. You wanted to know the distance of Hypnos 3?
Don't believe that was me, but someone was asking about that, yes.
I've made a mistake.
Ooh, this episode took a
My
dark
memory's
twist.
my memory's just fried.
Yeah, so Gemini 7 says, yes, well, Hypnos 3 is located about 150 light years away from here.
Another system entirely.
Wait, but
Methuselah is the closest archive to the planet.
the incident happened 100 years ago.
That's correct.
Interesting.
It takes time to travel amongst the stars, Dr. Kusanagi.
Well, if it's 150 light years away and it happened 100 years ago, you must have traveled faster than light to get the
We've had FTL
memories
for
here.
some time. Probably.
Yes,
Maybe
some
warp
things.
speed.
Yes, there is FTL travel, but it is not Star Trek or Star Wars levels of speed. It still takes quite a bit of time to travel.
And we have to be
okay,
put
fair.
under, or you have to be put under.
No, okay, yeah, that's why. Okay, and Gemini 7 about that, all the data was wiped. Was the machinery intact, and was there no data, or was like the other hard drive smashed? To use a phrase,
Like a mass data wipe happened.
Okay, the computers themselves were more or less intact.
Again, it's like everything was just wiped clean.
Okay, that might give us a clue.
Scouting
That's
reports.
interesting.
If you want to read through the scouting reports, we can give those to you.
I'll definitely want to. I think we could have a copy for everybody.
I think it's important for us to get back into Methuselah. Need to get back home.
Are you feeling all right, Dr. Mosher?
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I was just saying we should get back to Methuselah as well and continue the research there. We've started, but we still have so far to go.
I'm wondering, since our last encounter with Ava, your last encounter, you saw the end, it seemed like. Do you feel that Ava would be gone?
I don't know. I think we can get back to earlier parts of her memories, maybe, of life.
There are also other specimens whose memories we can examine, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. There are 3 other memory sets that you have yet to touch.
I'd vote for a new one, but I think we should all agree as a group before moving forward.
I'm open to that, yeah.
I'm not happy about it, but I am willing.
Which one did you have in mind, Dr. Kusanagi?
Well, let me first remember which ones there were.
So you've already accessed Ava's memory set. There's memory set beta, which comes from, if you recall from Ava's memory, there was a family that had discovered the alcove where the aliens were. There are memories from that family. That's memory set beta. There's memory set gamma, which comes from colonial administration. And then there is memory set delta, which, according to what Lee May and Gemini 7 have told you, those are the memory set from the aliens that were recovered.
Interesting.
So either beta or gamma would be my preference.
I believe the first sighting of the alien species would be quite exciting, so I would vote for the beta set.
Yeah, and find them in their unnatural condition before human intervention.
And I don't think that we should venture into the aliens' memories until we're more suited to our interface.
Yeah.
That could be quite disquieting.
Yes, because what they experienced would be very uncomfortable.
We'd be going into an entirely different set of...
Yeah, it's been hard enough dealing with human memories.
Okay, then it is decided. We shall access memory set beta in the next time.
Okay, so with that determination made, we'll take a quick break.
Hey.
5 minutes later.
All right. So you've all decided on memory set beta next. So is that something that you're going to engage in this evening, or is that something that you're going to wait for the rest of the day before it's starting?
Yeah, I would think in the morning.
Yeah.
We had a long trip, so...
Yeah.
And plus, we just ate. It's probably not good for our tummies.
Okay, so how do you spend the rest of your evening then?
Going to the bathhouse, going to the sauna and the hot tub and everything.
Okay. You can recover. Anybody who does spends their evening relaxing can recover 1d8 stress.
Ooh. So I'm curious about our stress. Can we go? We started with
6.
2.
Yes.
Can we go to 0?
I believe you can.
My sheet says minimum of 2, so I
Then
assume
so
it could
probably
9.
okay. No, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
oh, that's true. It does say
So there's always
minimum.
a chance to
Okay.
fail. Yeah.
So I went back to 2 when I skipped the rocks, which is
Down
cool.
to 8. So
Oh, geez.
I was at 10. I went to 8.
You go get a massage.
I think Tangent actually goes to his room, and he stands where the mirror would be had he not had them remove it. And he kind of pep talks. He's like, it's, it's going to be awful. You're going to see things you don't want to see, but you have to do this. You have to do the research. This is what you're here for. So you're you're going to see awful things, but you have to push through it. You have to push on through it. It's the only way out of here. And just kind of pep talks himself. And he'll probably do the same thing in the morning when he wakes up too.
Okay. So we will now just fast forward to you all go to sleep. And I'm sure you're all prepared for the questions I'm about to ask, or question, I should say. Let's start. Artav, what do you dream about?
I dream that I'm on that same beach, although it's not raining in my dream. I'm picking up rocks and I'm tossing them into the water. And I start to notice that the rocks aren't rocks. They're little pill bug looking creatures, smaller than the ones that I saw in the lab, but they're all crawling around. And I pick one up and it sort of unravels. Its legs are very delicate, so I could think that they might disintegrate if the creature passes away. Um, it looks at me almost as if it wants to tell me something. And then I wake up.
What? Dr. Moon, what do you dream about?
Well, Callista is naked in front of a mirror. And as everyone knows by now, her body is covered in tattoos. Most of the tattoos she has gotten um, based on things that she loves, life experiences. And she's just looking at her tattoos and trying to remember each one and why it's there and who the names are that she has tattooed on her, seeing Zan's name, Lanny's name. And as she looks, they start to change faces that she's had memorialized on herself turn into other faces. She starts to see uh, Dr. Tangen, Tav on her skin. And it's almost like everyone is becoming imprinted on her. And she starts to scratch and claw because she feels like she's losing herself to these other people. And she's like, where am I going? And she's having a panic attack almost. And she wakes up and she's just like scratching at her skin.
Excellent. Dr. Tangen.
So I'm back in the orphanage I grew up in with Rhea, wandering the halls late at night. And I come across a door that I've not seen before, and I open it, and there's this pebbly beach and outside of it, there's this rolling ocean. And so I walk out of it. And as I step through, I find myself, now I'm in this environmental suit. I reach down, I pick up a rock, and I skip it. It skips a few times. And I reach down and pick up another one, skip it, skips a few more times. And I notice the tips of my suit, my fingers there's holes wearing in them. So I pick up another rock and I skip it. It goes a little further, and the holes in my fingertips are wider. I can actually see my fingertips, and there's a little bit of blood. But I reach down, I grab another rock, and I skip it. And I notice my fingers are poking through the gloves, and my fingernails are torn, and bleeding, as if I've crawled across a great distance just holding myself. And I grab another rock and I skip it, and it skips once and goes under. And I look, and my fingers, the tips of them are sticking out, and they're just bloody bone, and the nails are gone. And I just see that I've clawed my way across this dusty, sandy planet to the point that I've ripped open my gloves in both hands and torn the flesh and fingernails from my fingers. And I can see the bones underneath. And I kind of put my fingers together. And as the pain starts to set in, I see my sister's face, who it's conflicted because she's alive, but she's also bloody at the same time. It's conflicting memories. And she opens her mouth and she starts to form a word. And I know what that word is, but I wake up before she speaks it.
Fun. Otto, what do you dream about?
Well, Newman has a terrible nightmare. He dreams that he is the alien strapped onto the operating table. He recognizes the scene from having been inside the Methuselah Archive and seen it there. So he sort of kind of knows what's happening, and he sees the woman in the medical uniform. She has a mask over her face, and she picks up a scalpel. She turns towards him, and he tries to say, no, 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 don't do it, but he has no mouth. And so she turns and she takes the scalpel, plunges it into the top of his chest, and starts cutting down in this long line. And he starts screaming, just, ah! And then he wakes up screaming, like, ah! 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 And he looks down and his chest is okay, but it all seemed very, very real.
Hannah, what do you dream about?
I'm on the Prophet, writing down memories, writing down stuff, and I want to secure the computer so nobody else outside our crew can access it. And somehow I make a terrible mistake and I wipe all the programming and all the memory. And I've also given the engines have just given it just enough of a push to detach me from orbiting Methuselah planet. And I'm slowly drifting out into space, using all the resources I have to, just eat and drink and whatever for years and years while just drifting all alone in space with the memory that I've left my colleagues behind with no way to leave the planet. And yeah, I wake up.
Okay. Ava, what do you dream about?
I'm just a very common dream. I'm in school. I'm going to my class and I sit down and it's an exam time and I'm very familiar with the class. I see it. It's one of my favorite non-human cybernetics classes. Then I get this sinking feeling like, oh my God, I didn't read the right book for this. Oh my God, I just panic goes through like, oh my God. And I start to wake up and I'm with my friend Melody. And I'm just relating this to her. And she's just making me feel very, very relaxed and how silly that was. Like a dream within a dream. And I wake up out of that almost in a daydream. And I'm back on Hypnos 3, headed to Lab 4 to start analysis of the alien bodies again. And I just really miss my friend Melody from back before coming here. And then I just sort of fade away. I'm actually kind of happy with that memory of her. Then I roll over and go into another non sequitur dream.
Perfect. So you all wake up, and Lee May comes to collect you all at breakfast. Um, are you ready to continue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get back to this. We need to find out what happened.
Lee May, would you be willing to also participate with us this time?
What do you mean?
Well, just to be present, to
Oh.
maybe help us keep together.
You seem to misunderstand. I've always been present for all your sessions.
Present as in just a watcher, or present as in...
I observe.
Mm.
If there was a need to intervene, I would intervene.
Well, you have witnessed us in such distress. Why would you feel that intervening would not be mandatory?
Well, I mean, what do you prioritize? Do you prioritize the integration and the furthering of your work, or do I have to intervene every time something gets a little uncomfortable for you?
Well, I would say our minds unraveling or disintegrating before our very eyes could be quite detrimental to figuring out what happened on Hypnos 3.
Well, from standing here looking at you, you all seem more or less intact to me.
The question is for how long?
I assure you, you're not interfacing with the archive to such an extent that there is a high risk of anything happening to you.
I believe what Dr. Moon is asking is if you would like to join us in one of the pods this time, so that you might be present in the same forms as the rest of us are present. And in this way, you might enable us to better access parts of the archive that we have not been able to access so far, and help us to adapt to the usage of the archive.
Well, I fear that would just slow down your work, but if it would make you more comfortable, I would be happy to.
We could give it a try and see how it goes.
I believe this would be of benefit.
I think if we're all more comfortable, or it would help the process.
I do feel it would make me more comfortable having someone so knowledgeable about Methuselah to be there with us.
Yes, again, if it makes you all more comfortable, I would be more than willing to join you.
Very good.
Could we get the memory set beta this time, please?
Yes, of course. So you all descend and you return to the chamber with the pods. You all strip down Lee May alongside you. You all slip into the pods. Dr. von Neumann, you have this strange feeling. You're floating in nothingness. And then you start to get very angry. It's Emelise again. You've had this argument a dozen times already. You're going to Hypnos 3, goddammit. You know what's best for this family.
Emelise, I don't want to hear it again.
Did you just expect me to pack us up and what? Go to God knows where? With the full knowledge by the time we wake back up on that godforsaken ship, all my parents, everyone I know, they're all going to be dead?
I am the patriarch. I say what is going to happen for the family.
That. What year is it? What fucking... You're going to take me? You're going to take our kids? What? We're just going to... It's all going to be better for you, huh? If you could just hold down a fucking job here, we wouldn't have had to go.
I cannot talk to this.
Jesus Christ. I'm keeping the kids. You can go off by yourself. We'll hold a funeral for you.
If
or maybe you should hold a funeral for us.
To have it. But you're being unreasonable.
Unreasonable. What do you fucking hope to find out there, huh?
You're
going to go scratch a living off that fucking rock?
We will find a life together. You will see. It will work out.
No, I like our life here. Our kids have friends here. Are they just off to some colony world chasing some dream? What's going to be so better for you there, huh?
I
You're going to be able to hold down the job there?
Here. I cannot further the type of work I want to do here.
Right. So you're going to go find some what labor is going to be available to you on that colony, huh? You think it's going to be...
I do not expect you to understand all the details. Just, keep an open mind. That's all.
No, I'm not going. I'm not going. And if you try to take my kids with you to that godforsaken rock, I will see you in court.
If that is the way it has to be, then that is the way it has to be. I think you're being unreasonable.
And then, Terrence, you have the memories. You got custody of the twins. They're bawling their eyes out as you're heading towards the ship.
Oh, for fuck's sake, not again.
Why? Why isn't she coming with us? Why isn't Mommy coming with us?
Mommy loves you. Okay. Look, it's everything is going to work out the way. It's all going to be okay. There's no reason to cry. Okay.
But Dr. Tangent, or should I say Peter, how is it going to be okay?
Yeah. How's it going to be okay? Mom won't be there.
Well, I will be there to make sure that everything works out okay. Yeah, you will always have me.
Yeah, but who's going to pack? Who's going to make lunches and snacks and read us our stories?
Well, you will have to be more of an adult, and you will have to take on some of these responsibilities yourself. That is growing up, yeah.
I don't want to grow up on some weird planet that you're taking us to.
Well, that is where my work is, and so that is where we are going, okay? I do not want to keep talking it over and over and over and over. We are going. That is final.
And Dr. Moon, or should I say Penelope, as your brother and your dad are fighting again, your twin brother Peter. I mean, you're not very old, either of you. But how are you feeling as you're setting off to go to this faraway place, leaving your mother behind?
Dad, what's gonna happen to Mom? When will we see her again?
She has made her own decisions, and she will call and she will message you as often as possible.
But I heard you arguing with her, and she said by the time that we got there, everyone would be dead.
But this is perhaps not entirely true, you see. There is a time differential distortions that will take place, yeah. But this it's not the end of the world.
She said
I
Grandma
don't
and
want
Grandpa
Mommy
to
to
be
be
dead.
dead. I don't want Mommy to be dead.
Mommy is going to live her life. She is not going to die right away. She's going to live her life the way she is wanting to live. And as so are we. We are going to live. We are going to be happy. Yeah. We are going to put smiles on our faces. Yeah.
No, I can't be happy without Mommy. Why can't we all be together? That makes me happy.
Mommy's not going to be happy without us.
That is for Mommy to understand.
Do you not love Mommy anymore? Is that why we're leaving? Is that why
No,
we're leaving?
No.
Maybe he's punishing us, Peter. What did we do wrong?
This is not your fault. See, this is not your responsibility. You should not blame yourself. This is a decision that was made by us, and
Us? I didn't decide anything.
And Grandma and Grandpa are going to be dead. And I didn't even get to see them. My birthday's in 2 months, and I didn't even. They're not going to tell me happy birthday.
And we're not going to get cake.
We will send them happy birthday messages for you to make sure that they are aware of how you are growing.
But Mommy said they were going to be dead by the time we got there.
But this is a long trip, so we will have lots of time to send messages.
I hate you, Daddy. I hate you.
Well, that is not the kind of language we like to use.
I don't care. You're being mean. Mean to me and Peter. And Mommy.
And you all you get on the ship, and Penelope, you find yourself dreaming. You feel sick. You feel feverish. You're in the white, sterile environment of a hospital. And a doctor there leans down very close to you and says, "Hello, are you not feeling so well?"
My tummy hurts.
Yes, well, I see here on your chart, Callista, that you're a very brave patient.
I try to be, but I don't like it here.
Yes, well, it's not a very fun place to be, but people need to come here so they feel better.
You're not going to give me more shots, are you?
No. I came here to give you this. And holds out a lollipop.
Oh, I like these.
And Terrence, you're on Hypnos 3. You're at your house, located right up against the ocean. You landed 2 years ago at this point. And Elaney, your new wife, she's having one of her depressive spells. She hasn't left the house in days. She seems to just be sitting out on the porch, just staring out into the black waters.
Terrence, you said?
Yeah, that's you.
What's the matter? You've been staring out that window for days.
You know, I just, I think, Terrence, I just keep thinking I've made a mistake. Not, not with you. That's not what I mean. Don't take it that way. It's, do you ever regret it coming out here? It's like eats at me, Like, did I make some kind of mistake leaving everyone behind?
No, no. This is where we needed to come. To do what we needed to do, what we wanted to do. We had this opportunity. We took it. That's life,
Yeah, that's what everybody keeps
Yeah.
telling me.
You can't second guess yourself now. I mean, you spend your whole life like that.
That's the thing. You can make a decision that feels so right in the moment, and then it changes everything, and you can't go back. You don't know what's going to be. You don't know. You're young, and you change everything. You go away, and you can never take it back. The time slippage, you never have it back. This isn't about changing your career or changing who your partner is or anything. This is that time slip. I can never get those people back. I can't return. There's nothing left. What if it's all been a terrible mistake, parents?
I you can't think that way. It's just it leads nowhere. You'll just exhaust yourself.
Right. Well,
I suppose that, I could think that way. There are people I might, you know, I might have had relationships with, and I might have explored that, but aren't you happy here? I mean, isn't there enough here to keep you interested and engaged?
maybe sometime. It's hard to feel it that way these days, Terrence. I really try. I really try to find the joy in it all, the adventure, when we go skimming and go into town, and Hypnos 3 can be so beautiful sometimes, but and she turns and she looks you right in the eyes, and Ophelia's crying, and she says, "But I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave you."
No, no, why? You, please don't.
And I've been trying to make this work so hard.
Like,
I really
I,
have.
I know. Me too. I cannot do this without you.
I wish they could see something from your efforts, whatever they may be.
I- I'm, I'm getting better. I'm trying to change. Please give me another chance.
I'm sorry, not this time. Not this time, Hannah.
No.
And Ava, you are standing on the ship waiting to depart. There's this frightened little boy to your side. He's crying.
It'll be okay, little pun. You're on the trip to Hypnos 3 too?
Yeah, my
But
daddy is making me and my sister and taking us away from mommy.
No, that can be sad. Leaving people leaving people's never easy, but there's a beautiful side of a beautiful new world we're going to, and we're going to be an important part of that colony.
But am I ever going to see my mommy again?
Yeah, your mommy will always be with you wherever you go. She's with you in your heart, in your memory, even in you, even in all the things that make you up. She's always with you.
And
It's
Ava,
never.
you look out into the crowd that is gathered to see the ship depart, and you see Melody at the front of the crowd. Tears are streaking down her face.
Yeah, I'm just tears, tears coming down my face as well. I just silently.
And as you're waving goodbye, I'm gonna roll for this randomly. And Peter, as you're sitting there crying, you are suddenly in a very strange room. Everything is this clean, it's white, it's glowing. You see this very tall, masculine coded android in front of you. And he says, "Are you Miss May?" "Are you okay, Miss May?"
Who are you talking to?
Talking to Dr. Tangent.
Oh,
Missed that. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I had a moment there. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Yes, well, I'm Gemini 7. I am the steward here at Methuselah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Okay. Um, so what do I need to know?
Oh, what a question. What a question. You'll learn it all soon enough. But please, you've traveled a long way. Orientation can wait till tomorrow.
Okay.
Welcome to your new home.
All right. Yeah, I'm eager to get to work. I've heard, it's very exciting.
And as you were walking through the archival suite for the first time, um, you get this overwhelming smell of bleach. And the hallways, they twist and they turn and they seem to be getting bigger. Or are you getting smaller?
Oh,
And you can hear Frau Schultz, those heaviness of her tread coming down the hallway. Dr. Tangent.
oh God. Okay. Oh, uh, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. So it's going to be okay. I didn't. The smell. I hurry, try to get back, back to my bed.
Mhm. And you're hurrying and you round the corner and you run right into another one of the other boys, um, maybe a little older than you, named Otto.
Oh, Otto, she's coming. You need to get in bed.
Yeah, Frau Schultz is coming. Hurry, hurry.
Yeah, get in bed. Ah,
I will jump in the bed.
And you jump into bed, and Terrence, you just feel like the lack of the weight of Elaney. She hasn't seemed to come back inside.
That's funny. Maybe I should go check on her, but I'm feeling kind of sleepy. What the hell? I'll get up.
You get up, and she's no longer on the porch landing
Laney?
or the balcony.
Laney? Where'd you go?
The moons are bright tonight, and you look out and you see the glimpse of something in the tide.
Huh. I wonder what that is. Hey, Laney?
And yeah, is that? Soon it clicks in your mind that that's Elaney out there in the water.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna run for the door and try to get out there as quickly as I can.
You run through the door, your feet is sinking into this damnable sand. You're trying to get out to
Oh my
her.
God. My heart is beating so fast, yeah. Oh, it's like a nightmare. The sand just keeps slowing me down.
Mhm.
I can't get there. Yeah.
You finally reach her, and she is just cold and blue in your arms.
Laney, what happened? Oh my God.
You carry her back to the house. You call for the emergency services. They are flying out as fast as they can. You're trying your best to warm up her body.
Laney, what happened?
You hear the rushing of that medical vehicle come by, and it sounds, Otto, just like the one that came to take your mother.
Oh God. I don't even know what I would do. I think I would just freeze. Terrified, just trembling.
And you feel a hand on your shoulder. It says, "Don't worry, Mr. Northrup. She'll be okay. Good thing you found her when you did."
I don't know how this happened. It just, one minute she was there, the next minute she was gone.
Don't blame yourself, sir. Well, you should be able to visit her in a few days, but we'll take it from here. You did good.
She couldn't have done this to herself, could she?
Well, you know, she wouldn't be the first.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. We know how painful this can be. I don't blame yourself. We have services. We'll get her healed up, and then we'll get her some psychiatric help. We'll help her feel better, Mr. Northrup.
Oh my God.
And you hear the monitor go dead as your mother's hand goes limp.
Oh, no, please. Please, not again. Oh God.
And that is where we will end our session.
Our players included Carrie Marion, Stuart Lively, Stefan Amshe, Cohen Lighton, Kent Blue, and myself with Morgan Llewellyn as the game warden. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the strange and sometimes terrifying universe of the Mothership role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.